Alright, welcome to a new cast for StarCastTV. I am iRk-RoyalBlue, and joining me is Shroom of Doom. And we're going to be casting a TVP today. So Shroom, do you want to kind of give some information on our players here today?
Yeah, we have a great match today between Sori and Snow. Sori surrounding at the top left corner of the map. Is that cyan? Is that the color?
It might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, some shade of blue and teal, and we have Snow in the top right corner, the white Protoss. The map will be Colosseum, a little bit of an older map,
Yeah.
but yeah, a little bit special. Maybe we can get into a bit about that later. But yeah, just a little bit about these two players. Obviously, really, really great players. Both of these players are actually playing in ASL this season, so definitely looking forward to seeing what these two players can do. Yeah, so Napoleon, do you have any thoughts about this map, Coliseum?
Yeah, so it is an old school map. I remember watching players play on it, I want to say like 2010 even, like way back in the day. So this map's been out there for a long time. And it's kind of a macro map, I think. The first base you can take is almost like inside your own base, so you just have to go up a reverse ramp, and then you take the easy nat, and you only have to defend one entrance. So that's actually really common. We might see fast expand from both these players, and then the third is actually pretty easy to defend as well. It's just kind of along this ridge, and it has a narrow entrance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see both these players go up to 3 bases on this kind of map.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely does feel like a macro map. However, the choke is like, well, I mean, you can wall and defend the choke pretty easily actually from both races. I just wanted to point out the choke does have like a neutral creep with a neutral sunken colony. So not that I think it will really come into play between
Mm-hmm.
these two, but it's just a cool tidbit about the map. All right, so we see, wow, okay, interesting. Both players doing a cross scout.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess they're
yeah, I
trained
don't see that a
proxies
lot.
or something.
They must be. I think it is buildable terrain on a lot of this map. Here we see a zealot coming out from snow, and so he's crossing. He's gonna find uh, pretty soon here. He's gonna find Sari's base with his scouting probe. So that zealot is gonna cross right over to his base, to Sari's base here in the top left, and potentially engage this marine, which has followed quite a ways, chasing that first probe away.
Yeah, I guess the cross scout was due to like both players fearing some kind of cheese or something. So, but yeah, Snow will find Sori first, and with one Zell on the map, he can pressure. Sori does have a bit of a Sim City, so I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, we see Sari has sent out 2 different SCVs as well, so that might lead to some belief in maybe a hidden base or a proxy. I'm not sure why he's needed 2 scouting SCVs. Maybe he's scouting himself for a proxy. But this Zealot is getting in here on the Marines. It has badly damaged them. But the bunker is up, and those Marines will just hide in that bunker. And it won't really matter that they've taken some HP hits. And here is a proxy now coming down uh, for Sari. He's building a factory actually in the middle of the map. He has a second SCV as well. But that might just go in as a scout and see the expansion timing here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it seems like both players were very, very afraid of some kind of proxy play. Yeah, and it looks like as you stated already, Royal, sorry, my bad. Sori is actually going for a 2 factory play with a proxy second factory. So we'll see how the strategy will play out. It's kind of interesting because at the beginning, it really seemed like they were gonna do some kind of macro play,
Mm-hmm.
to the map, but it
Yeah.
turns out like, that prediction was blown out of the water, right? Giant loss.
Yes, exactly. We see an aggressive play. Sometimes you see that as a result of he knows pretty much Protoss is going to take this fast expansion, or that might be the metagame anyway. But we see Protoss now throwing down a Citadel of a Dune, so he may go for some really quick DTs and maybe a fast Arbiter as well. So we'll see how this plays out here, as we do see there's some Vultures being built by this Proxy. Ooh, and it's almost getting scouted by this Probe.
Yeah, Snow seems to be like almost like somewhat like telepathically aware that like that Sori's trying to cheese him, man. He keeps sending out like probes to scout, but unfortunately, just missing, just shy and just missing the scout. And yeah, Snow is powering up for that 2 factory play. He is gonna move out once he gets 3 tanks, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I'm pretty sure by now Snow knows what's up, right?
Well, he's actually pushing out a little bit with his Dragoons. He needs to keep them back safe. But yeah, this is an interesting map for the 2 factory because of the map terrain. You can actually kind of hard contain your opponent. But if he lets this expansion go up for Snow for too long, he's going to be ending up behind as the game goes on economically. So he's got to do some damage here initially with his push. He's got mines already laid out here.
Right, and there is a timer also for Sori, as those DTs are going to come out, right? I mean, he does have an engineering bay, but and mine, so maybe he will be okay. Ooh, this is a great position. Positioning his tanks on the high ground, siege mode almost done. He will be able to assault Snow's base from this high ground.
Yeah, this is the map terrain that really does favor that contain now. He's going to have Snow contained on his 2 bases. It's only a matter of time as well until a siege tank gets sieged on that other expansion and is able to take it out from that angle on the NAT expansion. But here's a turret coming down, and it's going to face off these DTs, and they're destroyed immediately, doing 0 damage.
Yeah, things are looking grim, man, for Snow. Terran has a great position. Ooh, a little bit of a misplacement, I think, with that tank. Great micro by Snow, picking off that tank from the high ground from the Protoss end.
That being said,
still,
yeah.
I don't think the Protoss can recover. I mean, Snow needs it. Yeah, he just taps out. Yeah, I was gonna say like Snow needed a shuttle or something to break out of that contain, but his Robo was like a million years late since he went for DT tech, right?
Yeah, that was too good of a position. Once you let Terran set up there, it's really hard to break that one, especially if they have siege and mines. Yeah, you're right. You do need some kind of shuttle. But nevertheless, here we go into game 2. So I've hosted it up. This map's going to be Sylphid. And let's get it started here. So we do have another TVP here between Snow and Sari. An interesting game 1 going relatively quickly. And we're into game 2 with Sari taking the lead, 1-0. So Snow is spawning as the pink Protoss at the 12 o'clock, or the top middle. And we have Sari spawning at the bottom right as the white Terran.
Yeah, great play by both players last game. A fair bit of mind gaming, I would say, right in the last game, right? Both players really scared of some kind of like proxy play. I mean, it was justified though. It was justified. Sori did eventually do a 2 factory, and and it let him win. So yeah, let's see if he's gonna try some proxy or some all-in strategy again this game, or are we gonna see a long macro game? I mean, to note though, this map is Sylphid, and Sylphid's one of those more balanced maps, in my opinion. So you can basically see anything happen. It could be 2 factory, it could be some kind of proxy from either player, it could be a macro game. I mean, it's just in the nature of this map, right?
Yeah, I agree. This is probably a map these players are very comfortable with and know the layouts of, so they know what kind of builds to go for. I think shuttle play could be strong on this map because there is like a lot of hard to defend pathways you can go with your shuttle. So we'll see if that's something Snow decides to opt for here. But we do see that Sari is opting not to wall in. He's going to take his gas. So he might be going for a factory expand here, it looks like. or potentially he could go for another 2-factory build. He is sending out his scouting SCV, and that's going to run into the probe at his base entrance.
Yeah, man. Probe on SCV violence. The dance begins.
Yeah, these players just spamming their APM now, microing these first workers as good as they can, which is actually quite well, as we see from Snow. He's doing some damage to that worker that's building that barracks, just doing a nice moving shot actually with his probe.
Yeah, this is actually really, really good for Snow. It really slowed Story's scout, so his scout timing is way late. I mean,
Yeah.
he's on 17-18, and his scout is, just moving into the halfway point of the map, right? So really, really good probe harass by Snow, and of course, Snow known for his good micro. I believe Snow has the highest recorded like kills on one Reaver.
Wow.
In all like the professional StarCraft history. And
no, that's a long history too. I can't believe
he killed
that.
72 enemy units, so I mean it's just a testament to his
Oh,
micro
man.
capability, right?
Yeah, that's impressive. That's a lot of worker kills, I gotta assume, but good for him. That's some intense, great record to have. I would be proud of that, something like that.
Yeah.
I wonder how much he would rather win a tournament, I think, than have a record like that, but we'll see.
Well, a Terran having a record like that, is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I was saying he would rather win a tourney, like be a ASL champion, than worry so much about getting a bunch of kills on one unit.
Dude, did you witness that Dragoon body blocking that SCV?
Yeah, I did. So that was some nice scout denial here, but he really is just denying some scouting. So he is doing the most standard play, but at least Sari doesn't quite know that, and he might have to drop it early engineering bay here to stay safe against potentially DTs, which we did see in the last game.
Yeah, okay, I am so impressed by Snow's micro. That body blocking, denying the scout. I mean, that's exactly what you said, Royal. I completely agree. I mean, Story is in the blind. He's got to go with detection now because he doesn't know what Snow's going, right?
Yeah, he may go for vultures with mines. It looks like that's what he's opted for here. So the mines may be able to buy him some time if DTs do get out. But you can't really just rely on mines. You do have to get some kind of engineering bay or something else to deny the Protoss options here that he could tech for. But we see Sari's actually opting for another factory. So he's not really playing this one safe. He's definitely saying, okay, I didn't scout you, but I think I know what you're doing. So I'm going to be okay putting down a second factory. Which, right now it looks like it's going to be fine because we do see essentially 3-gate obs, I'm assuming, coming out of Snow. But it could come back to bite him potentially in a later game in the series if he does decide to keep playing this aggressive multiple factories before an engineering bay. And there we see it's being constructed in the top right of his base.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, so I mean, I agree with you, Royal. That was a good call, man. Like, the engineering bay is late if it was going to deny some kind of fast DTs, but I think Story feels safe with mines out in the field, so that's why he can justify a little bit of a later engineering bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately though, Snow. I mean, as you've already pointed out, there's no DT tech. There's not even any like Reaver tech, right? So he's not going for Reavers or anything. So it's just like super safe 3-gate robo. I mean, this is the most standard of standard Protoss openings against Terran, right?
Yeah, definitely. He went for the standard play. Now these mines are not going to be so effective, but they have bought some time. Now, if those mines were to see, let's say, a shuttle flying over them instead of just an OBS, they'd be in a lot more trouble. But actually, these turrets are going to get up just in time now to maybe deny this OBS. And I don't know if they would have bought him that much time if it was, say, like 1-gate Reaver. But he did manage to escape that little trouble period he was in. And now he's going to have his vultures actually do a run by and do a counterattack up here. And they're going to lay some mines in the Protoss natural and potentially zone out these Dragoons and get in there on the mineral line. But actually some nice control there from Snow. He He's got his Dragoons alive so far. He's only lost 2 of them. And he brings back the remainder of his forces, so he's going to force off these vultures with actually very little probe kills, maybe 1 or 2. He did take out a couple of Dragoons, but not really the trade he was looking for there, I don't think, losing quite a few vultures in the early game like that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The games is in Snow's favor. Like you said, not the trade Story was looking for, and you have to think about it. Like all those vultures that Story was producing, all that time could have been spent, like making tanks, instead, upping your tank count. But
Yeah.
but because like he was busy making vultures, he literally has only 1 tank.
Yeah, he just lost 1 tank, and he might even get this one targeted down. It's quite low on HP now, half health, and it gets targeted down as well. And the lack of a missile turret here at the front is letting this OBS kind of see everything. Now we do see 2 more tanks out, so he must be producing tanks 2 at a time, and he's getting siege mode as well. But there's a lot of Dragoons at the front, and siege mode is not quite done yet, so these Dragoons and this OBS can get right on top of these tanks. But luckily the SCV pull is in time, but this is the worst feeling as Terran. You do not want to be in this scenario, really, where you're pulling SCVs to fight Dragoons, because you can just bleed out so quickly this way, trading SCVs, and meanwhile the Protoss is expanding behind this, and he's keeping up his macro, he's adding in more goons. He's getting a Reaver even, so this is worry time for Sari.
Yeah. This all stems back to the fact that Story went so heavily Vulture. He really misread Snow. He really was thinking that Snow was going to do some kind of like DT or some shenanigans, right? That's why he made so many Vultures at first. But it was just standard 3-gate goon, and you can see Story. He's going for a 3rd command center, but with his tank count so low, and he's only still on 2 factories. Okay, he's only on 2 factories. How is he ever going to be able to even secure his 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Snow's throwing down like mass gates right now. He's going to go up to 6 gates. He has Reaver, and he has a ton of goons. I mean, I just can't really see how Story can even take his 3rd.
Yeah, he's going to have to start slowly sieging up his tanks and kind of pushing out 1 tank at a time, slightly ahead and ahead. But eventually here, Protoss will get so strong, like you said, powering off those 6 gateways, that it won't really matter that the tanks are in a good position or that he's taking his time and slowly pushing out to secure this expansion, because there will just be an overwhelming number of Protoss units that will just run him over if he's only producing off 2 factories, which he is adding on now 3 more factories. But the Protoss is just denying this 3rd base right now. He's done some damage on the command center, and if he can just keep the Terran on 2 bases while he's on his own 3 bases and setting up a 4th, this is just buying him more and more time for Snow to just get ahead, and he may even start adding in more tech units. Yeah, he's getting a Stargate as well as the Templar Archives finishing up, so that's going to allow him to get into Arbiter tech as well. So he's pretty much just getting all the tech that he needs here while he's buying time denying this 3rd base.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Snow's advantage is snowballing. That
No, I like that one. Yeah, snowballing out of control here, just growing more and more as the game goes on. But here is a move for Sari. He's pushing up. He's tired of just waiting. He's taking out that Reaver, which had considerably less than like 71 kills there. And now he's got his tanks in good position to defend this 3rd base. So Snow, knowing this, is most likely going to have to retreat here. He's pulling back 1 group of his Dragoons. But yeah, that was a good trade.
That was as good of a fight as he could have hoped for. I don't know why Snow didn't attack simultaneously with the the 2nd group of Dragoons at the natural. Maybe he thought that there were just too many tanks and it wouldn't be worth it. But with Snow's micro, I think he could have done it. But
I think he's just playing conservative. He knows he's ahead. He doesn't want to do anything too risky. He was fine just denying that base momentarily. Here are some mines which are denying this DT for the time being, but we're seeing Snow with kind of, it seems like extra APM to spare. He's just microing 1 DT and 1 shuttle, but he is going to lose this DT here. Oh, he picks it up. So that was some good multitasking, I gotta say. But this is a risky play also to just leave this shuttle in here. At the same time, though, we see some vultures running around laying mines. We see a really good obs spread from Snow. He must know that Sari is good with his vulture control and his vulture harass, so he doesn't want any vultures sneaking around his base. And we see Sorry getting his upgrades, adding on more factories. He is finally going to take out that shuttle and DT, it looks like.
Yeah. Drop on the left-hand side of the map from Story. Moving up to that 11 o'clock base, I reckon, or maybe even in the main, but Snow does have a cannon in the main, so not completely naked.
Yeah, he will most likely deny this one base, but it's only for a short time here, I think. Oh, he's going into the main with that drop, but at the same time, Snow is launching a counterattack, and there is a cannon in the main like you were mentioning, so this drop isn't going to be too effective, and some zealots coming out to clean it up easily.
That was the worst time to drop, man. Those zealots just came out of the gates fresh.
Yeah, well, when you have this many gates, zealots are going to be like always popping out. It feels like this is so many gates that it's hard to have a timing to go in effectively. I know you're always hoping, did he just finish a production round? Can I just get in there with my vultures? But in this case, he got shut down, and now we see Snow attacking in on that angle you were calling for, at least initially before retreating. He basically just took some mine hits, though. He didn't really do any damage there, it didn't look like.
Yeah, it looked like Snow was trying to find an angle, maybe even go into the natural. You know, dude, I've actually died from this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have all your tanks protecting your third, and they just like run out into your natural. Right?
Yes.
But you know, good mine placement, preventing Story from getting knocked out of the game.
Yes.
+2 is done, and +2-1 is done. So Snow's upgrades Story's upgrades, are coming along nicely. I don't think that he's gonna push out with 2-1. I mean, he's obviously missed his timing, right? He does nowhere close enough to push out, so he might be waiting for like the 3-2 timing instead off 4 bases. And yeah, you can see he is making another command center.
Okay, so he's building a 4th command center, you said?
Yeah, as natural.
As okay.
Story's missed his, like, there's a couple timings you could do, right? TVP is all about timings, right? And he's obviously missed his 2-1 timing, right? Due to how the game played out, so I predict that he's gonna go for a 3-2 timing, right, with the 4th base.
Yeah, he's just now started that upgrade. But yeah, he is gonna have to try to stretch this to the late game, because I think he realizes he is very behind. Even if he were to push out now and win an engagement, he may have to win another engagement. So he knows if he can wait and take a 4th base, that will buy him some time to kind of get a bigger army out, maybe get him to max, and then he can decide to try to deny bases. I think he must also know Snow has not taken that other main yet. So as long as Snow has not taken that other main, there's a chance he will be able to mine some of the rest of the map as well. And so knowing that he can kind of play a little slower, I think, here, and he is trying to take that mineral-only base with that 4th CC that he built. But Snow moving into position, there is one Arbiter out with plenty of energy, 131, so it can do a nice stasis there. And now in come these Zealots and Dragoons, but I don't think they're going to really get much done here. Picking off some exposed tanks, but not really too many. And this stasis, while it did get a lot of Vultures and Goliath, it didn't really damage too much because he's not going to be able to pick off these units when they spawn, I don't think.
Right, I completely agree, Royal. And you know, the main thing is that the tank count has not been reset, right? The power of the Terran army in this matchup is the tanks, and as long as his tanks are alive, you know, he can theoretically make some kind of push. Ooh, did you see good Templar snipes, man? Good Templar snipes.
Yeah, some nice play from Sorry, knowing that he is waiting for max, he can throw away some Vultures, and to get Templar to trade well with these Zealots like he did is totally fine for Terran. Like you said, the power of the Terran is the tanks, so he's just trying to mass up as many tanks as he can right now, not really minding too much if he trades away some Vultures or some Goliath. He just wants a big tank count for the late game. And here he is pushing down to the bottom left of the map, and he is going to secure this mineral only for the time being at least, as Snow is forced back, and so Snow now kind of on the back foot. He might even be starting to lose some momentum as the game goes on, considering Terran's just going to start trading better and better as their upgrades come in. But here's a push down to that 3rd base, so Snow drawing maybe Sorry out of position here to defend that new expansion, and Snow hoping to get in here along the SCV line on that third base. And if he gets a storm off on that SCV line, that could be critical. But he is storming the units now, taking out a bunch of vultures, getting some nice storm on some tanks. Wow, so we're seeing here Sari is losing a lot of units now, and so this might actually snowball against him. But he does have that tank core alive, pushing back Snow for the time being. But Snow's going to be able to just reproduce his army like that, and Sari's going to have to wait a little bit to get more tanks like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was too bad for Sori. I mean, it definitely could have gone worse for Sori, but I mean, you have to think though, like Snow has been economically dominant for so long. It's exactly as he said. He has a bank. He can rebuild his army, but Sori can't afford to take a bad fight, right?
Yeah, he can't afford it until he gets his fourth base up. Now that he does have that fourth base up, he can start trading a little bit more aggressively. But we see just Sari not really having too many units right now, so he needs to start kind of letting his eco work for him. Recall. But here comes a recall. Oh, did it get? Yeah, here it comes. So it's sick recall on the fourth base. And they're in a pretty good position, but these SCVs are going to fight and try to trip out these goons, which they are doing somewhat. Yeah, these goons are not getting a lot of shots off.
Actually, this wasn't too bad for Sori. I kind of, but the thing is, again, right? Snow can afford these losses. Sori can't, right? Even though it traded well for Sori, right? I'd still say it's somewhat worth it for Snow just because of the amount of eco damage he's doing, right?
Yeah, that's what he's hoping to do. Just do eco damage and stay at max, which we're seeing Snow is able to do. And there's only going to be a matter of time before Sari is actually too slow to run back and forth between all these bases, or maybe just he gets outnumbered at one of these bases, because we see Snow is doing a great job of these attacks at either expansion location, trying to catch Sari out of position here.
Yeah, he's really taxing Sori's mechanics, swinging back and forth with his army, hitting both sides. This is really good by Snow, by the way. And
yeah, both these players. This defense from Sari even is outstanding. So both these players are playing really well. But I was sorry to interrupt you there.
No. I was just gonna mention, yeah, Snow is taking the bottom left bases, the bottom left main, and I do believe if Snow takes it, it will be a formidable, a Herculean task for Sori to come back, if he can come back at all. Because the thing is, if Snow stays on one base, right, or one main anyway, right, theoretically Sori could get an amazing attack and just sit on top of Snow's gates. You know what I mean? If he pushes him all the way to his main. But once another main is taken and Protoss throws on a ton of gates, right, it changes the equation, right?
Yeah.
You choke out the Protoss.
Yeah, then you're just relying on the Protoss mining out at some point, which we're going to be a long way away from that if Protoss gets 2 more fresh bases here at the third main. But Protoss maybe not even going to wait for those bases to kick in, doing a huge attack, getting some zealots on top of that tank line. The tank line is pretty well spread out there, as we're seeing from Sari, though, so he is able to repel this attack for the time being. But Snow just making sure there is no 5th base at either of these locations, and I think he must be comfortable fighting a 4-base Terran because he hasn't really done anything to kind of counteract Sari's expansion timing at this moment.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, okay, well, yeah, we do see Sori trying to take a 5th. Yeah, Snow knows he's in the lead, you know what I mean? Sori is literally one expansion away from tapping out, right?
Yeah.
So all he's got to do is continually trade with Sori, and eventually he'll mine out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. And here we're seeing another trade here at the 3rd base, and he's getting favorable engagements, getting his zealots on top of these tanks. And so this is working out well for Snow. He's fine to just keep trading like you were mentioning and keep spending all of his opponent's APM on the defensive. Meanwhile, he's getting up more bases. He's expanding as well to this middle right base, actually, where we're seeing Sari floating a command center over to. So they're going to end up fighting over this base as well. So pretty much all the maps, I mean all the bases on the map, I'm sorry, have been claimed now. So we're just going to get more and more mined out as this game goes on. And I think that's just going to favor Protoss. But Terran is able to take such good trades with their upgrades. So maybe there's a way back in this game for Sari if he does get a good trade or a good engagement here. But he's just extending his supply lines essentially by taking these additional bases. And so that's just going to make it easier for Snow to find an opening. And Snow is again massing up here, and here come the Zealots, so he's charging down. Some storms going off. Alright, Stasis. More storms, and he's pushing up into this mineral line at the 5th base. GG is called by Sari. Wow.
Yeah, it's just too much. Snow just has too much of a map, too much resources. Yeah, it was a great game by both players. I kind of feel like Sori kind of mind gamed himself a bit, right? Because he was expecting Snow to do some sneaky, but he just played standard. And congratulations to Snow, right? Bringing it back 1-1.
Yeah, that was a couple of great games. So thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you in the next video here for StarCast TV. Thank you all.